Hi, welcome. My name is Peggy and this is my channel, Bespoke Ability Sewing. Today is Friday, so it is Friday Sews. Friday Sews is a hashtag that was created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room as a way to bring the sewing community together. So thank you, Jen, and thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. So I haven't been here on a Friday for a couple weeks. I've been here on Tuesdays. I've been doing my Make 9 2024 garment reveals, and I do intend to be back next Tuesday with Make number 4. But I really have been missing Friday sews. And as I explained on Tuesday, I've been spending a lot of time with my grandchildren. I have 2 grandchildren under 2, and so their mom, my daughter, and her husband are busy, and so I've been trying to help out wherever I can, and it is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's also exhausting, but it's wonderful. So consequently, I haven't had that much energy for sewing, nor have I had a whole lot of time. But I really wanted to be back on the Friday Sews bandwagon, and so I'm determined to do one today. And here I am. Yay! So I don't have that much to share with you. I did make a top this week that was part of my Make 9, and I'll put up a picture of it, but for details I'll link the video to that below. So that was my first make out of a Nanny Eero bird's eye cotton double gauze. Absolutely love that. And then my daughter mentioned to me, well, okay, let me set the scene. My daughter is a university professor, and she is teaching a class right now, but it's solely online. It's called asynchronous, which I had never heard before, but you know, those in the know it. Now I'm in the know. Now you're in the know. Asynchronous. So she's not meeting with students face to face. I guess she would if they needed physical office hours. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean, like to meet in person. But other than that, she does office hours over the phone, and everything else is virtual. Well, and she's home with 2 children under 2. So it's a very happy time of life. It's also a very busy time of life. And she was talking to me about her life and her style, and how she feels it's changing somewhat. And part of that's because she's home all the time with 2 kids under 2. So I asked her what it was she would like to add to her wardrobe, and she would like to have joggers. And I said, great. So she actually ordered a couple pair from the Gap, because the Gap does have some styles that come in a tall length. And my daughter's 6 feet tall, so she needs a tall length. Well, she did get the joggers, but she didn't really like them. They don't really fit her well, and they just look like sweatpants. Yeah, they do, I think. At any rate, I knew I had a couple patterns for joggers, or what kids today call joggers. So, like I have the Hudson pants, which I've never made, but I actually have the paper pattern of that. And then I have 5 out of 4 patterns, Diane joggers. And I like those because they have low rise, mid rise, and high rise. They have a choice of, I want to say, 4 waistbands and several hem finishes. So they have quite a selection. I haven't made those either. And I was going through my pattern stash, and I came upon, I have to look at my notes, Simplicity 9556. This is a current pattern, but I bought it a few years ago, but it's in the books right now. It's a nursing pattern, and it has, and I'll put up the line drawing so you can see, but it has a nursing top, and it has some joggers, and I think a baby blanket. I don't know, maybe sleeve variations and length variations on the joggers. Any rate, I bought it a couple years ago when my daughter was pregnant the first time, thinking this might be a top that would work well for her for nursing. And I showed her the pattern, and as she became more experienced with nursing, she realized she didn't like that style. She preferred, like everything out so she could take care of things. At any rate, this was a little too restrictive for her. So I just filed it away and didn't think about it. But then I remembered that, yes, it had joggers. So I thought, okay, I'll give those a try. So for the first pair, I figured I'd need to add length. And I did. I added 3 inches to the leg length, and 3 inches right at the hem. And figuring that was probably too much, but let's start with too much rather than too little. So I used a fabric from my stash that I don't know why I was hanging on to it, because I wasn't going to use it. It was a double brushed poly. I don't remember where I got it. Super soft and very stretchy. And it has flowers on it, maybe old-fashioned roses, that are pink and ivory. So I like the flowers, but the background is an olive green, and that's just not a great color for me, and it's not a great color for my daughter. But I thought, as a hopefully wearable muslin of joggers, I thought it would be perfect. And I think it was. So these whipped up very easily. I did everything on the serger, and it calls for a waistband with 2 rows of 1/2 inch elastic and 1 row that has a drawstring in it. Well, I didn't have anything for a drawstring, and I didn't have 1/2 inch elastic, and I wanted to get these made. So I decided to add a yoga waistband, because I figured my daughter would like that anyway. I mean, I like those. They're comfortable. So I made a square, 13.5 inches square, and put it on the fold, and then used that to make my yoga waistband. And again, I sewed everything on the serger, attached it just fine. And so I took the pants to my daughter, had her try those on, and I don't have a photograph of her in them, but I do have a kind of a flat lay photo that I took of the pants, so I'll put that up. Any rate, she's keeping the joggers to wear as pajama bottoms, but, and the yoga waist fit fine. They were maybe a 1/2 inch too long, so I took a 1/2 inch off the hem. The hem band was maybe a 1/4 inch too wide, so I took a 1/4 inch off that. I mean the pattern, for the next time. And then they were a little too voluminous in the legs, so she didn't want a whole lot taken out. And at first I was just going to take a 1/4 inch off of each, the side seams and the inseam. But then I thought, oh, that'd be a whole inch off the circumference of each leg. That might be too much. So again, I decided start with less, and you can always take out more if need be. So, and she would like to have the drawstring waistband, because we looked at a bunch of joggers online, people who had styled them and stuff, and they all had drawstrings. And I thought, okay, fine, fair enough, I'll get some. So at any rate, for the next version, I used the same pattern. And again, I didn't have a drawstring, I didn't have the elastic. So again, I did, I guess maybe I didn't know yet that she wanted the drawstring. It might have been after my second iteration. Yeah, it was. So I this is an example of poor communication. So I went home with these ideas of what I needed to do to the pattern pieces. I did those things to the pattern pieces, and then I thought, okay, I want to do another muslin, and maybe this one will be good enough to, you know, make the cut. So, poor communication. I thought, oh, I'll use a fabric that is in my stash but is good quality, that I can get more of, that has a lot of colors, that I bet that's what she would like for the pants. So I used the Papilio Ponte. I think it's premium Ponte, a lot of P's. It's from Mood Fabrics, and I will link it below. And I had 2 yards of it in the, I think, the dark heathered gray. So I thought, great, that'll do the trick. So I cut everything out, and it looks the same on both sides. I did mark which side was which. And I, again, did everything on my serger. Now, I like to think I'm an experienced sewer, but sometimes I do some really boneheaded things. And example 1, I sewed 2 right legs. I serged 2 right legs, which I didn't realize until I went to join them at the crotch and said, huh, this isn't right. So the only thing to do was to tear out all the serging, get rid of all those threads, and sew them up again. So I took out all the threads, you know, seam ripped, and then I proceeded to do the exact same thing again. So once again, I had 2 right legs. I was like, oh, Peggy. So then I tore that one out too. And then I turned it around, and then I actually did it correctly. But and it wasn't even late at night. I can't blame it on being tired. I don't know what I was thinking. Or wasn't thinking, I guess. At any rate, I finally got those together, and then it came time to do the waistband. And once again, I used my 13 and a half inch square that I placed on the fold, so a double width, and then turned that down and serged it and had my waistband, divided it into quarters. But I thought, this looks really small. Like, did I do something wrong? And so before I sewed it on, I compared it to the pattern piece. No, I had done it right. And I thought, this just seems too small. So I tried it on myself. My daughter and I are fairly close in measurements. Not exactly, but fairly close. So I thought, I should be able to get this on over my hips. And I couldn't. It was just the waistband piece at this point, sewn up the back and flipped, but I hadn't attached it yet, thank goodness, because that would have been my seam ripper's 3rd trip out. And at any rate, I could not do it. And I determined that if I were to use this fabric, I'd need to add something like 7 inches to the waistband, something outrageous like that. And I actually had enough fabric left that I could do that. So I cut out a piece, 13 and a half inches plus 7 inches, cut that out. And then I was looking at it and I thought, well, now it just looks so big. And I thought, I think it's just the fabric isn't the right, it doesn't have enough stretch to be an effective yoga band. I mean, that's what I think the problem was. You tell me if you have another opinion. At any rate, I decided, okay, this fabric is gray. I have some gray supplex in my stash that I've made leggings out of and other things. So if I can find it, I will make the yoga waistband out of that. And it won't be an exact match to the pants, but it'll be close enough. Figuring that my daughter would wear anything out over the waistband anyway. So I did my 13.5 square on the fold, on the supplex, and I put that on, and it's fine, and I'll put up a photo of it, a flat lay, and then I have a photo of me in them. I don't have a photo of my daughter in them. My camera must not have been working when I was taking pictures. Any rate, they're fine, and I had made the changes. I had taken an 1/8 inch off of the outer seams and the inseams. I had shortened the width of the hemband. I think that's it. Yeah. So my daughter tried them on and they fit well, although the waistband was a little snug, and it was snug on me too. And then that's when we then looked at all the people wearing joggers online to determine what it was she wanted. So it turns out, and this is where I'm talking about poor communication, this wasn't the kind of fabric she wanted at all. This kind of looked like sweatpants, actually, especially in the dark heathered gray. What she wanted was a lighter jersey for the joggers. And okay, fine, I can do that. And she really liked the waistband that had the drawstring. Okay, I can do that too. So we looked at fabrics online to see something that she might like. Because at first I was going to show her the Papilio Premium Ponte from Mood, because it has, I think, 40 colors. I don't know, it has a lot. And so she could choose something. But that's not the fabric she wanted. So then we looked at serge. And then later when I went home, I looked at Blue Moon Fabrics, which is in Los Angeles. And I actually ordered 2 pieces of fabric from them. And then on Amazon, I found some drawstrings, and I ordered gray, navy, black, and white. So I have a selection, and they have the little endy things on them. So I have the length right for the joggers. I need to change the waistband and maybe make them a little bit slimmer. So I have, I think I told you I have the Hudson pants. That might be True Bias. And those are, I believe, a more slender cut. So I thought I would get those out and use the length of this pattern, Simplicity 9556, because I know that that's about right. And then just get some cheap, like some probably double brush poly or something from Joann, and make up a pair of those and see if that's the leg she wants or not. And hopefully by that time my drawstrings will have arrived and my fabric, so that I can make these for real. Anyway, that's the saga of my joggers. And they're not a difficult sew unless you sew things backwards. Hello. Or make them out of fabric that isn't wanted. Oh well. So I've been working on 3 things that I'm not done with. I have my Sew Hayley Jane luxury box fabric, which I love, and I have my Think Pink sewscription box fabric. So I'm working on garments for those 2, and they should be done within the next 2 weeks, if not sooner. And I'm working on yet another pair of Pietra pants for me. I have this fabric that I just think is so cute. It's a paisley, and it's a stretch cotton woven, but it has some texture to it. I got it at Mood, and I'll link it down below. Then I want to make a top that needs to have, that I want it to have, white piqué at the yoke. And I couldn't source any locally. So I bought some from Mood, and while I was on the Mood website, I saw the same stretch woven cotton that, but in a different colorway, colors that are better for me. And this is called Mood Exclusive Stretch Woven, no. Well, I have it linked below. Does it say here? Oh, Mood Exclusive Sky Blue Untamed Beauties Stretch. So there's not a whole lot of stretch, but there's some. I'll probably make a dress out of that. And then I bought, here it is, this, because I think it's just so pretty, and I love daisies. So this, I think, is also a Mood exclusive. It's Mood Exclusive Periwinkle Sunday in the Park cotton. I think it's a cotton poplin, or it might be lawn, but I think it's a poplin. At any rate, I think it's really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to make out of that, but we will see. So is there anything else? No, but I want to remind you that I will be back on Tuesday for my Make 9 2024 Garment 4 reveal. And I hope to be back next Friday for Friday Sews. And who knows, if I get either my Think Pink or my Sew Hayley Jane garment done, I might pop in sometime in between. We will see. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really glad you're here. And I will see you, I hope, next Tuesday. Bye.